Hey everybody, and welcome to another Cricut Craft tutorial. Before we get started, be sure to subscribe to my channel. It is totally free to subscribe. Just hit that big red subscribe button. You can also ring that bell for notifications when I post a new video or when I go live. In today's video, I'm going to show you guys how to cut acrylic with your Cricut. We're going to make some template pieces, which I make mouse ears, Mickey Mouse ears, and I'll link my video down below on making these, but I make them all the time, and rather than having Cricut cut out all my pieces, I made templates so that I can cut them all out by hand. It's going to go a lot faster and it's a lot easier. So let's show you guys how you can make some reusable templates or stencils using your Cricut. We're going to make the Mickey ear templates using acrylic, so I'm going to show you guys how to grab those templates in case you want to do that. Just go to my website, CorinneBlackstone.com, hover over free SVGs, and go down to Mickey ear template. There will be a download down here under our supply list that you can download these Mickey ears from. This is a super handy, fun template if you want to make Mickey ears. So just click Mickey ear template download and it will open this folder. This is where it's going to ask you where you want to download it. So I'm just going to download it into my Cricut folder, and I think I'll just put it in acrylic blanks because I'm going to cut it on acrylic. Click save, and you will need to unzip this folder. So what you'll do is open the folder, and then all you have to do is click extract all. Now there are files in here that are going to help you with any kind of cutting machine that you have. We have EPS, DXF, PNG, all the things. So go ahead and just click extract all and click extract. Now we'll go over to Cricut Design Space so I can show you guys how to load these and get them set up for acrylic cutting. Over here in Cricut Design Space, click upload, then click upload image and browse. You're going to go to the folder that you saved these in, which for me was my acrylic blanks folder and Mickey ear templates. There are two separate templates. You'll need to use the Mickey ear fabric template and the Mickey ear foam. Now, if you're doing this on your Cricut, you'll want to use the SVG file, which may show as an HTML document, meaning it may have your internet browser icon. So we'll start with the ear fabric first, and all we're going to do is double click it, and it's going to open just like this. Now, because Cricut Design Space doesn't size everything correctly, I have the sizes right here for you. So all we'll need to do now is click upload. Now we'll need to do the outline for the foam. So click browse again, and then go again to that folder that you saved it in, find the Mickey ear templates, and choose the Mickey ear foam. Again, this will have all the measurements in it for you. Click upload. Once you've got both uploaded, go ahead and select both images. I just hold Control on my keyboard to select both and click Insert Images. Now again, remember, Cricut Design Space doesn't always communicate really good with vector programs, meaning that it's going to resize stuff to a different size than what we actually need it. That's why I have the measurements for you. So what we'll do first is we're going to go ahead and start with the fabric. So go ahead and click Ungroup and select just this piece right here. And up here at the top, you want to change your width to match the measurements that I give you, which is 5.119 inches. Your height should match automatically, and you can just delete the letters. Now we'll need to do the same thing with the foam, so go ahead and click Ungroup and resize it. And I always resize the width. It's a lot easier. So you're going to resize the width to 3.974 inches, and the height should match. Go ahead and delete the words. You don't need those. So now we have the inside of our ears and the fabric. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to make two templates out of this because you can do this two different ways. You can either trace around the outside or you can trace around the inside. So what I'm going to do is open up a square, and I'm going to put the square around each of these. So I'm just going to open up a square, and you can absolutely unlock it and make it more of a rectangle, but you want to make sure that your image fits inside of the square or rectangle. And what I'm going to do is right click on my rectangle and click send to back, so I can make sure that I have enough space around the edges to where the acrylic won't be super brittle. That looks really, really good. So what I'm going to do is select the fabric part and the square, and I want to attach them. What that's going to do is it's going to create the center part that we can trace around, but we can also use the inside of this square to trace around as well. So we're going to do that for our fabric as well. I just think it's a little bit easier, And it just depends on how you want to make your templates. So there's not really a right or wrong way to do this. So I'm going to send this one to the back. Now this one I am going to give a little bit more space around the bottom because of these little points. They're a little bit of a sharp point. Then I'm going to go ahead and select both of these and then click attach. Perfect. Now we're ready to cut these out. Now we're cutting these on the acrylic that I have linked down below for you guys. So what you're going to do is click make it. And this can actually fit both of these onto one sheet, which is awesome. But I am going to move this over just a little bit, not a ton, but just a smidge, just so it's not right on the edges, just so they're not like super close together. Go ahead and click continue. And you need to do this on your Maker. The Explorer cannot do this, and then neither can the Joy. But this is great for the Maker. So what I want to do is browse all materials, and I'm just going to search the word heavy. And I use the Heavy Chipboard 2.0 millimeter setting. This works great. This uses the knife blade, so you'll want to make sure that you have your knife blade and housing. Now, it does ask me to calibrate my knife blade. I have done that. For some reason, it asks me every time. So I just tell it, no, I don't want to calibrate it. I'm going to show you guys how to set up the Maker and install your knife blade to do this cut. Then we're going to cut this out, and I'm going to show you guys how easy it is to use these. The first thing that we'll need to do is change out our blade. So we have our clamp B, which has our fine point blade in it. All you're going to do is pull open the tab so the white part pops open. You can pull out your fine point blade, and then we need to put our knife blade in. This is your knife blade here. It is the one that has a gold gear on top, a little plastic protector, and then it has the little blade down here. So what I'm going to do is I want to line my gold gears up, so the plastic piece should go on the outside. Line up those gold gears, close the clamp, and you're loaded. We're using these clear plastic sheets from Graphics Arts. I got these off of Amazon. They're linked down below. These work really, really well. So I'm going to actually use a sheet that I used for testing and my strong grip mat. So this sheet, you can see I've already got some cuts, but there's plenty of space. You'll want to make sure that you remove the protective coating off of the sheet before you use it, and use your strong grip mat. So I'm going to go ahead and line this up on my strong grip mat, and you want to make sure that it is well held down. If you'd like to, you can add some painter's tape to it along the sides. I have not done that, and it has been absolutely fine, so we're not going to do that, but you can if you'd like. And I'm just going to make sure that this is well pressed down. Now this one is a little bit scratched up, but because I'm using it for a template, I don't really care. If I was using it for something that was going to be seen more, then I would use a new sheet, but this will work just fine. So now the next thing that we want to do you see these little white wheels? I'll move them over a little bit more so you can see them. There are these little white, they're called star wheels. What you want to do, and if you haven't moved them before, it can be hard to move them, but you want to just slide them all the way over to the sides so that they're not in the center of your mat. Now again, this is to help this feed under your roller and also to stop it from getting scratched. So I'm going to go ahead and load this. Now it's very, very important that you watch this while it cuts. This is not going to need all of the same amount of cuts that doing actual chipboard requires. This one tends to need anywhere between 8 to 12 cuts, so I would just watch it while it cuts, which I'm going to stay here and watch it, and then I'll show you guys what I do to see how far we have to go. But I'm going to go ahead and pause this just to take a look and see if we've got any cut through yet on these. We definitely don't, but it's a good idea to go through and just sort of check, and you can just sort of lift it up from the bottom, and I don't feel even a cut going through yet, so this will take a few more passes. You'll make sure you press this down really well again, and then just hit the Cricut button to start it cutting again. We're going to go ahead and pause it. Again, we're on about 9 to 10. and I can still see that we don't have a lot of cut through. I can feel it starting to cut through a little bit more, but what I also want to do really quick while we have it paused is I'm going to go ahead and check on my knife blade. I will say that the Cricut knife blades do break sometimes, so it is a good idea to pull it out and just inspect it to make sure that it hasn't broken. It still has the tip on it. That's usually where it breaks, is that little tip. Can you guys see the tip? That is typically where it breaks on the knife blade. So just be aware of that. So I do tend to take it out usually right around 9 or 10 just to check it, and then you can go ahead and hit the Cricut button and have it start cutting again. Go all 24 passes. So I'm going to be honest with you, acrylic really dulls your knife blade a lot. It says this is one thing I cut, two things I cut. I cut a simple cake topper and then these, so I've only cut about 7 or 8 things, and my knife blade is super dull, so this is not something that like is going to be long lasting. So that is something to keep in mind. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and pop this off. There are a few spots where I can see I'm going to have to pop them off, but that's okay. Like this little spot right here got a little funky at one point, and I don't know why. The acrylic might have slipped a little bit, but you can literally just pop it off, and then you can just trim around this as need be. Because this doesn't have to be perfect. It's just a template for our mouse ears. So I'm going to go ahead and pop this other one off. And again, it's going to be a little tight in the corners. Do you see these little corners? You may have to kind of just pop them off a little bit, but it's fine. And then we'll pop off the main thing. And then I can see it didn't cut very well down here for some reason, or at the top. So you should just be able to kind of fold it back and get it to come off. But again, this is really dulling on your knife blade, so keep that in mind. This isn't something I would say is sustainable to do for a business or something like that. So let's take a look at our different templates that we have. This is when I thought that these templates would really come in handy, when I have a fabric like this where I want to make sure I get specific pieces into the fabric so that I can actually use them and see what they look like. So I'm going to show you guys how to do this really quick. It's super duper easy. Let's choose a little spot because I want to have the Protect Our Ocean kind of be in the center. So let me move the fabric up so you guys can see. So I've got this Protect the Ocean one. I'm just going to center this on my template here. And all I'm doing is taking a Sharpie and I'm just going to run this all the way around my fabric template. And then all I have to do is cut around the little lines, and that's super easy. And you can label these with some vinyl if you'd like to. And then let's grab a Save the Seas one. Let's grab this one over here. Or do we want one that has the dolphin a little closer? Let me see if we've got one with the dolphin that we can get in here. Actually, this one will fit beautifully right next to it. So we can just do this one right here. Just make sure, and you can iron your fabrics if you need to. And then I'm just going to use this one and I'll just trace in the center. And then you'll just have to cut around the lines. It's really easy. This is a super fun thing you can do with these acrylic pieces. You can make some really fun, easy to use templates. Then we have the foam ones, which we can cut on our EVA foam, but this is just a little quicker than having to cut the fabrics with your Cricut. Plus, this way you can make sure that your fabrics are lined up the way you want them to. So it's really easy. But again, this is not something I think that would be sustainable for anybody to do as a business using your Cricut, because I think that these templates really do dull your blade pretty quickly, but they're super fun.